this is quite possibly the worst division in the NFL. The AFC South has one playoff team every year, and that's because one team has to win the division. The AFC South has the Jags, Colts, Texans, and obviously the Titans, and usually 2 of them are top 5 picks in the NFL draft. But we're going to predict and preview the AFC South, and let's just say these are going to be some ugly predictions, I would say, because right here, you're looking at three teams possibly in the top 10 in next year's NFL draft.
Well, okay, we'll say this much. We already know the number 1 team's probably going to be, they deserve some respect, but we'll talk about them when we get there. And everybody should know who that is probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 4 for me, it is the Tennessee Titans. I have them at a 3-14 record. Their first win for me does not come till week 14. They'll end the last 5 games for me on a 3 wins out of 5, but I hate doing this because I feel like Cam Ward is not getting talked about enough as a first overall pick. It's kind of like Trayvon Walker all over again. But for a QB guy, it's more talked about Shedeur dropping all the way to the 5th round. It is Travis Hunter obviously being the 2nd overall pick as well. But Cam Ward, from all the experts I've seen, all the clips, bits I've seen, his interviews, his mentality is there. I believe he'll be a way better quarterback than Will Levis ever was for the Titans. The Will Levis is out for the year himself with his, I believe, shoulder injury. But I just hate the weapons, clearly. I don't know what their O-line is going to be like. They obviously drafted in the past, but they haven't really shown out, in my opinion, too much. Weapon-wise, like Calvin Ridley is like, you're hoping for a bounce back, but are you really going to get that? He was once upon a time your favorite receiver after Julio Jones.
Once upon a time.
Yeah.
But let's just say this. Titans and me are the 4th place team as well. 3-14 record. So we got the same record there. Look, Cam Ward's going to be good.
Yeah.
Cam Ward is going to have a promising year. Cam Ward is going to be like Drake May. He's going to play good, but they're going to lose because he just has zero support. Like you said, weapons-wise. Lockett and Ridley, good people, good receivers, right? I hope I'm pretty sure they are good people too, but their best years are behind them. So we don't know how much they could ounce out of them. Chigaquanko as a tight end is okay, but like, let's be honest, it's not going to really change much. They have been investing in the offensive line with the draft picks in the last few years. So I think he will be protected pretty decently, but then again, it's not the greatest O-line there is.
Yeah.
Defense, I love their defensive line. Devondre Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons, they're studs. But overall, defense is decent.
The Jerry Sneed had a bad year. He's currently out at the moment.
It's a decent defense, but let's be honest here. The Titans they're just not a good football team all around. Have they got the answer at quarterback? Quite possibly. They might have.
Yeah.
Cam Ward is, in my opinion, is the best playmaker in terms of quarterbacks in the draft. He showed that in Miami. Only issue is obviously the turnovers, but at the end of the day, like the play style he's going to take risks, and turnovers are going to be a cost. But if he could find a way to limit that, which is going to be difficult in this team, Cam Ward is good. Like if I don't want to disrespect Cam Ward because with his 3-14 record, it's going to be like how Drake May came in last year and played well, but the team itself just wasn't good.
I think Callahan's job might be on the line as well, even though it is his. I do think Callahan's job may be on the line if it's on another 3-14 record like we have. I know it's not a little fair because it's a second year. The team's kind of on the rebuilding stage. But if this offense doesn't look great, I could see them maybe moving on and seeing like a guy like Joe Brady could be available, could replace them. But overall, I hate putting the disrespect on Cam Ward like this, but the team in general, it is what it is at this point.
Before we move on to our number 3 team, we would appreciate you guys smash that subscribe button. We are making weekly videos multiple times a week, potentially as well. NFL season is almost here. We're getting all our division preview and predictions out. We're going to have our playoff predictions out soon and our award predictions out soon. So hit the bell icon to get notified. Hit the subscribe button because this channel is all about the NFL. And let's move on. Number 3 team, Jacksonville Jaguars. For me, and I have them at a 5-12 record.
Okay, I have Jacksonville as well, and for me, they are at 6-11. 6-11 record. This is a weird team. I'm gonna just say it. I give them 6 wins. Yes, I'm not as high on them. I still believe in Trevor Lawrence. Don't get me wrong. They brought in Liam Cohen as their head coach. Some people like analysis like Liam Cohen's gonna unlock this offense completely, which I somewhat do agree with. defensively is where their kind of question marks could be, but it's just a weird team. Like I could see this team being challenging for the number 1 seed. I could see that, but at the same time, I could see them
Not
being
the
where
number
they are
one
right
seed.
now.
Not the number 1 seed.
Number 1 seed in the AFC South.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So the division. Just say the division.
The number one.
Don't hype about that much.
No. Number one seed in the division. I could see them challenging for that, and we've seen them do it in the past when we thought they were an ass team, but ended up winning the division under Doug Peterson. I could see that happening, but I lean more where we both put them. I guess you have 5 wins, me at 6 wins. It's just like the ultimate question mark is, can Liam Cohen unlock Trevor Lawrence once again, and can Travis Etienne bounce back?
Trevor Lawrence has not proven anything. Trevor Lawrence, the year they made the playoffs, I believe they were below 500. I think they were 8-9 record. They might have been 9-8, but whatever it is, Trevor Lawrence hasn't led this team to anything. As simple as that. The so-called generational talent, the so-called next guy since Andrew Luck. Being completely honest here, Trevor Lawrence is right now robbing the franchise of the Jacksonville Jaguars of his $40+ million per year contract. And this is not me being harsh. This is me being real.
Yeah.
Because there's another guy who did the same thing. And his name is Daniel Jones. Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones have similar numbers up to this point in their career. So in terms of Liam Cohen unlocking this offense, again, there's a lot of potential for that. But at this point, if that doesn't happen, we're going to have to start question mark. We're going to have to put the question mark around Trevor Lawrence and saying he might be a quarterback that can produce as a starting QB level.
So he was 9-8 the playoff year and 9-8 the year after they missed the playoffs.
That choke, yeah. Well. So at the end of the day, Trevor Lawrence just straight up needs to be better.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. He has not produced. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm not saying that he deserves getting all this criticism. And I'm not saying but he should be put on notice more, right? People obviously, I'm bringing this up as a Colts guy as well, but obviously people have put on Anthony Richardson on notice a lot more. But I don't see people putting Trevor Lawrence on notice. I've seen obviously people put the Cleveland quarterbacks on notice. I've seen Baker Mayfield get on notice a lot more. I feel like Trevor Lawrence hasn't really been put on notice yet. And I feel like he has to be, because in my opinion, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't play good this year, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars should cut ties with him. It's just simple as that. Because right now, he is the one thing that's holding this offense back. Offensive line is okay. Weapons are good and young, right? We'll see what Travis Hunter can do at the wide receiver part, even if he plays both ways. That's obviously all those question marks that we've figured out when he starts actually playing in the regular season. Brian Thomas Jr. was the only bright spot there, right? And Trevor Lawrence obviously has now gotten a couple injuries, which are very scary, obviously one being a concussion. Do I believe Trevor Lawrence can bounce back? Do I believe Liam Cohen can unlock him? I do. I'm with you. But I'm just saying right now, I'm not having any hope for him, because what he has shown, I'm going off based on what he has shown. And what he has shown is literally one good year of football and everything else was absolute garbage. That's what Daniel Jones was.
Trevor Lawrence, yes, I agree with you, doesn't get the flack. I know a lot of that is because they still want to believe that he was the next guy since Andrew Luck. The difference between a guy like him and when people talk about Justin Herbert being a top 5 guy, including myself, Justin Herbert at least has shown and done it. Justin Herbert has the most passing yards in his first 5 years in the NFL, I think, in history, beating out Peyton Manning, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So at least with Justin Herbert, we see the bright spots because he's shown he could be in MVP conversations. Yes, Trevor Lawrence, it is time to put up or shut up. I do believe it, and I hate to say because I love the guy in Clemson, and he was that guy who was supposed to be that guy. So we'll see what happens with Liam Cohen. I, like you, I am skeptical overall as just this Jacksonville Jaguar team. We'll see what they do defensively.
Defense is meh. They obviously have Josh Hines-Allen, who's a stud, but defense is meh. It can get the job done, but it could also cost them as well. But at the end of the day, we're looking at it. It's gonna come down to T-Law. It's as simple as that.
My question to you is this: can Travis Hunter pull it off at an elite level on both sides? Can he be the Shohei Ohtani of football in a way? Here's what I'm trying to say.
Football's too tough, man.
Yeah.
The hits, at the end of the day, if I'm talking about pulling it off, I'm talking about he's going to play every single game both ways. I won't say every single snap. Obviously, that's going to be difficult. But when I'm looking at it, if he plays both ways throughout the 17-game regular season, that is possible. But let's be honest, like if you're playing wide receiver, you take a big hit, you're gonna take the defensive possession off. Like that's just gonna happen. You're gonna get hit, and you're not gonna recover as fast because college and NFL, there's difference. There's big boys, and there's obviously students. There's a big difference between them of who's hitting you. Before we move on to the next team, we would appreciate you guys leave a comment down below of your guys' standings if you agree or disagree with anything we said. If you guys do that, we'll also do our best to respond to you guys' comment down below with our thoughts as well. But we would appreciate to spark a conversation with you guys in the comments below. But let's move on to the next team. I have them at 9-8, and it is our Indianapolis Colts. What's your record for them?
I went a little bit more optimistic. One of the few times I've been a little bit biased. I am basing it off the fact that Anthony Richardson will be healthy this year, and that so far, not a good start with what happened in preseason week 1. I have him at 10-7. So I still have him. I have him second. I have him a game better than you. I'm gonna quote this one guy. Numbers on the board. Kenny Beecham. Sometimes you gotta stop being an analyst and be a goddamn fan. That's what I'm being for this one. For once,
I've been a fan for the last few years, and I'm gonna reverse that. Sometimes I'm gonna stop being a fan and get my hopes up and crushed, and I'm gonna be an analyst. And I'm gonna be a realist. I said all this shit about Trevor Lawrence. I have to say the exact same shit about Anthony Richardson. It's put up or shut up time. You haven't proven anything. You are right now labeled as a bad quarterback, right? Simple as this. You got to play good. This is your last year. I don't even care if you play 6 games this year, and they're like literally the most remarkable 6 games we've seen a quarterback play, right? Could be Andrew Luck-esque if you're looking about last great Colts quarterback, but you get injured, you're still gone.
Yeah.
You got to prove that you could play a full season. It's simple as that. And I don't care if those 6 games, say he plays 6 games out for the rest of the year. I don't want that as my QB because I don't want that hope. It's simple as this. I want consistent, available quarterback play. We haven't got that as a fan base. And so far, we haven't got that in Indianapolis. We're not in Indianapolis, by the way, but like as Colts fans. But I said all this shit about Trevor Lawrence. Same thing applies to Anthony Richardson. The only difference is obviously as a general, in the general NFL world, Anthony Richardson just been put more on notice.
Yeah.
But a little bit more fairly too, because he hasn't really produced a single year yet. And overall, when you're looking at this team offensively, this team is set in every single position. Offensive line, one of the better ones in the NFL. Weapons, they don't have probably the superstar weapon and wide receiver wise, but they have 4 really good depth pieces with Pittman, Pierce, Downs, and A.D. Mitchell, who's looking good in camp now. Tyler Warren is a stud at tight end. So every single, obviously, Jonathan Taylor, we already know who he is and what he is. As long as he holds the ball across the whole goal line, he will be a great quarterback. Running back. Might even play quarterback this year just because depending on what Richardson or Daniel Jones does. But that's more Tyler Warren's job. But every single part of this offense is filled out, and single part of this offense is filled out with talent, like viable, good talent. Except for the quarterback position, which is obviously the reason why. The reason why we have 9 wins, because Jonathan Taylor can win this team football games. We've seen him do that with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was a garbage quarterback, but Taylor carried the load. We have garbage quarterback play right now, but Taylor can carry the load if he's healthy. Because we have the talent, we can contend for a playoff spot. The only issue is, when it comes to the big games, the clutch moments, that's where you need your quarterback to emerge. And right now, Jones or Richardson are not those dudes. Especially if Richardson's gonna be injured all the time.
O-line, the losses of Fries, and I know he was injured pretty much most of last year, and then obviously Ryan Kelly, slightly gonna hurt because Tanner Bortolini's not, the games he did start last year, he was good. You're asking him to be a full-time center. All right, so it's still some question marks.
Yeah, there's some steps, but let's be honest.
Same thing with Matt Gonzalez.
But let's be honest. We already know what the question mark is.
For me, it's the least of their
concerns right now.
But we thought the same thing with the Matt Ryan year, and they were awful that year as well.
That was a vets. Chris Ballard literally ignored the left tackle position that year. All right.
But going back to this though, listen, if I'm Cam Ward, he's like, why can't I have these weapons, right?
It's this offense, yeah.
Yeah. If I'm if you were to swap this offensive group with the Bills, Josh Allen will take this team to the playoffs and be in Super Bowl contendership as well. I'm not saying they're at the. What I'm saying is they're at the same level at the minimum at the Bills.
What we're saying is what every Colts fan has been saying for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
If we had a quarterback, we'd be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. We don't.
But that being said, though, Anthony Richardson at camp did show improvements. There were moments where his footwork looked better. His mechanics were great. That's the reason why I'm a little bit more optimistic. Am I getting my hopes up like you did last year, for example? No, right? I have more hope than you this year. But yes, the durability is the big thing because he didn't read the play properly, got hit, dislocated his pinky. Thankfully, he's day to day. He should comfortably should win this QB battle now.
Same.
Because Daniel Jones did not look good, and Riley Leonard, I get it, he's a rookie, but he's a sixth round rookie for a reason, right? Or wherever he got drafted. So that's the offensive side of things. We already know what the biggest question mark there is. Before we go to the defense, the coaching, Shane Steichen, again, his first year did a miracle job with Gardner Minshew, and we're a game away of winning that division, right? Or at least getting to the playoffs. I don't know if the Texans would have made it regardless, but
No, it was a winner in.
So okay, yeah, so they would have won the division. Last year,
No, not division. Well, actually, no, they did because Jacksonville lost.
yeah.
But
So-
also, yeah, like winner in the playoffs. If Jacksonville lost,
Yeah.
won the division, and which is what happened for the Houston Texans.
So going to last year, the problem with last year was I thought he overthought too much. Personally, try to make prove that like Anthony Richardson is a good passer, then using his skill set to a certain degree, maybe ignoring certain things, maybe going trick plays when you don't need to do trick plays. The Denver game, for example. But so like I still believe Steichen's a good coach, but if he doesn't prove it next year, we already know that it's gonna be a clean house session with Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen.
Defensively, these guys got better. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
But there's so many injuries.
We have been hit with the injury bug. Obviously, unfortunate news for our third-round rookie Justin Wally, who was winning the CB2 spot. He is out for the year with an torn ACL, and Jalen Jones and Juju Brents are out with hamstring injuries right now. But with the additions of Trevarius Ward and Cam Bynum, this secondary has vastly improved. You still have Kenny Moore. You have Nick Cross, who played really good at strong safety last year. Defensively, you added JT Tulumolo in the second round, which is a good, solid edge rusher, the championship-winning edge rusher. At the end of the day, you have Buckner and Grove down in the middle, and hopefully
DeForest Buckner underrated. Don't care
underrated.
what anyone
Yeah.
says that.
And you have Laiatu Latu. Hopefully, he could step up, pull up more stack numbers in his second year.
Ibu comes back.
And Ebu comes back. Quiddy pays there. Like up front, these guys have the depth and talent. At back, the biggest issue was secondary. They actually added the depth and talent there as well. And the biggest addition of all, cutting Gus Badley and letting him go. And obviously, we brought Luan Arumo, who was coming off a pretty bad year himself in Cincinnati, but we've seen the magic he created with Cincinnati when they made to the Super Bowl, because that defense was one of the better defenses. And that defense actually had players on that defense as well, which last year, Cincinnati didn't have the players, which kind of made it tough for the coach as well. Luan Arumo is coming to a situation where he has talented people on his defense across the front line, the front seven, and the back end in the secondary as well.
So yeah, with that being said, like I that's where my belief went up. Mainly the 10 wins was because of the defense side of things as well. Indianapolis does this thing where they'll win the games where you're like, oh, they're probably gonna lose this game, but then lose the game that we expected them to win, aka the Giants last year.
I also, when I'm doing the scheduling and going through like picking who the win, loss, and stuff, I came to a situation where Indianapolis and the Houston Texans play a winner takes a division game in week 18.
Yep.
And I ended up picking the Houston Texans again
Yep.
because the reason why they have the quarterback.
Yeah, so the Houston Texans, which is the team that I alluded to earlier, where I'm like, okay, this team is a bona fide playoff team regardless of division. I have them at 11 wins. It did come down to the win. For me, it did come down to that whole week.
I have them at 10-7,
19.
yeah.
So for me, they were at 11 wins, so 11-10. So obviously, you just had the extra loss somewhere for both of those teams. But yeah, overall, what I think about this team, Nico Collins hopefully stays healthy for the whole year. That's number one. CJ Stroud have a bounce back year because for his standards, rookie year was amazing. Second year, not so great compared to the rookie year. Defensively, I'm gonna start there. They're elite. They're good. On paper, Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, Kamari Lassiter, Derek Stingley,
CJ Gardner-Johnson
added.
Aziz Al-Shire, as long as he doesn't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
This
This defense led by D'Amico Ryans as well on top of that.
This defense is nuts on paper. It just 100% is. That's just what it is. And also, like you said, D'Amico Ryans.
One more point. Stingley got disrespected in the Madden ratings as well because there was no way in hell he's the seventh best corner in the NFL this season.
There's no chance. He's second best at the moment right now. But Yeah, defensively, there's no comments about that. This is the best defense in the division by far. One of the better defenses in the NFL by far. Question is offensive line.
Yeah.
Right? I know CJ Stroud struggled last year, but he was getting pressured a lot.
Yeah.
So with CJ Stroud and his offensive line, they haven't really done too much to improve it. But if CJ Stroud bounces back, or even if he plays the same level as last year, this team is by far winning division.
Yeah.
And by no means, I am saying, I don't know if you're saying this, but by no means we believe the Texans and the Colts are in the same tier as a football team. No. The reason why it comes down to one game is the Texans got to play the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills,
schedule matters.
The Rams. Whereas the Colts don't play those teams. The Colts don't play the top tier teams in the NFL because we're garbage. It's as simple as that.
They do play the West, so it is the toughest, not the toughest, but the tougher division.
Yeah, no, but they do too. So at the end of the day, the Colts have the easier schedule. That's why they're in a position to be within a game of the Houston Texans. But by far, Houston Texans are the best team in this division. There are a tier or maybe even multiple tier ahead of all three of the teams, all the other three teams in this division, because the Houston Texans at the end of the day are gonna be a playoff team, a perennial playoff team. One, because of their division, and two, because they have the best quarterback by far in the division.
So obviously, first thing they moved on from Laramie Tunsil. They brought Cam Robinson. We'll see what Cam Robinson is gonna be like. Again, the O-line was terrible last year, just point blank. So that's another reason why I made it close between both the Colts and the Texans. And again, I throw in the Jags for some people that do believe in the Jags that way as well. I won't be surprised if they come in the mix as well. Question marks right now. Obviously, Tank Dell is looking like he's going to be out for the year. So can Nico Collins stay healthy and then Christian Kirk take the role of the wide receiver?
Their depth and wide receivers, because they drafted two high potential players.
Higgins and Knoll.
Yeah.
And then the other thing right now is Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is hurt. He might be missing time at the beginning of the year, but this is why you take a bet on a guy like Nick Chubb, who, in my opinion, at one point was the second best running back after Derrick Henry, or top three if you want to throw in Saquon Barkley as well a couple of years ago before his injuries. Obviously, the injuries were severe in Cleveland. He was the main, outside of Myles Garrett, the main relevant reason Cleveland was in the playoff picture sometimes because of both of those guys. He's going to be obviously he's running back too if everybody's in the running back, if the running backs were healthy in terms of depth chart. But if he's starting, I have faith in the guy. Yeah, is he the elite level of guys at this current level of Bijan, Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs, and all these guys? Maybe not. I still think he could find his way to get there. Christian McCaffrey showed it in the past. Yes, this guy's injuries were a little bit more severe, maybe to a certain degree, because he missed, 2 years in a row? Was it?
Yeah, it was major. Like, it was literal ligament tears.
Exactly, right? So we'll see what this guy does, but at least you have, yes, Dameon Pierce is good for you guys as well, as now if you have to elevate him from a running back 3 to a 2 position, that's crazy. Dameon Pierce is your running back 3.
That's actually crazy.
So for me, yes, they failed. Obviously O-line is still the biggest question mark for me, but every position, in my opinion, has really good starters and decent enough depth pieces that if someone does get hurt or you just need to give them a rest for a drive or two, you have a guy like that. And Nick Chubb could be a really good bounce back candidate this year and have a really good chance maybe to win comeback player of the year as well.
Enough said, honestly, because at the end of the day, AFC South is a pretty garbage division, but the Houston Texans are by far the
They're not the
favorite.
NFC South. Yeah. I'll say that much.
NFC South is worse because the Houston Texans make this better because Houston Texans are a bona fide playoff team, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
That pretty much wraps it up for us. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. We're dropping a lot of NFL content for you up until the NFL season begins. So we'll be seeing multiple videos a week like Jobin mentioned earlier. Make sure you guys check out this video popping up. It is the AFC North Preview and Prediction. So check out that video as well. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.